Everyone, and welcome back to Cram Farms. I was running out to the garden so that I could make a salad for lunch, and I forgot that I haven't made you all a garden tour video for this week. So I'm going to come around, show you some things in the garden, and show you how everything is starting to look. So we did have that freeze a week ago, but you would not know it with as hot as it's been this week, towards the end of the week and this weekend. So I'm going to show you some things in the garden, let you see what's popping up, and some new areas that we've started. So come along. So we're going to start at my potato bed, and this is the first potato bed I put in. I have a second one that's going to be a later crop. And on the end here, I put in peppercress. Now peppercress is it is just that, it's peppery. When it's great in salads, but like when you first get it, you know, it's okay. And then it's like at the end, you get that, that burst of pepper. And you can see here that some of mine is starting to go to seed. You get the flower first, and then that is where your seeds go. So I'm going to let it go to seed. We didn't love this one, but I am going to keep some seeds from it and try it again next year and just see if the kids kind of like it better next year. So when this is done in this bed, I'll pull it, and I'm actually going to reseed some kale here, because what you can see in my potato bed is that my kale is hiding way up under here, because these potato plants weren't nearly this big when I started. So my dino kale is hiding in here, and it's going to grow more. These potatoes will be out soon, but I'm going to go and just put some more kale and some rainbow Swiss chard there, because just like my kale, my rainbow Swiss chard is hiding way down in these potatoes too. So that's doing really well. But these potatoes are doing great. Even after the frost, they're okay. You can see the blooms coming on the potato plants, and it won't be long before they're ready. Now, this is the second potato bed that I put in, and it's coming along a little slower, but it was much later than that one. But it's not going to be long either. You can already see these are potatoes coming up all over. So they are sprouting. And this is that tatsoi, which is like a Chinese spinach. It's supposed to have a sweeter taste, and it's starting to come up. I've got it in several places there. We've got several beans, my marigolds coming up in this bed, and my purple opal basil. And I need to go through and weed. Definitely some things I need to pull out of this bed. So my other bed over here. So this is my other bed. You've seen it a lot. But it has my oregano that is just happy as it can be here. Cilantro, which is going to be going to seed pretty soon. It's not there yet, but it's not going to be long. And then beets. These are golden beets I'm getting ready to pull. These are, well, let's look at them right now. These are my Detroit red beets. And yeah, it's probably time I can go in and pull these. They actually look. There's two of them. So here are some of my beets that we grew this year. And these beet greens are excellent in salads. So I pulled these. And we can actually chop these up and have them in salads tonight. They can go along with my radishes that I pulled just a little while ago. These radishes are huge over here. Like, look at this one. Oh, I probably should let that one go to seed. It was close. See there, it was close to going to seed. If I had let that go, which I should have done, I could have kept and harvested the seeds. But you can roast these in the oven. My friend Stacy from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy just told me this morning you can actually eat these greens too. So we are going to be trying that. We've been giving them to the chickens. So there's a few things. The lettuce is happening here. This is another row of beets. I've got a little bit of spinach here, more oregano, and there are some carrots coming up. So my next bed, this is my first summer bed that we put in with the trellis, and I've got these are like lemon squash, zucchini plants. You can see my beans coming up here. There's a random carrot, must be left from the fall. Another zucchini plant, a squash plant. And I was really excited. This is the first year that I've had luck with nasturtiums. And so I have a pretty big nasturtium here. Now you can eat these, you can use the greens in salads, you can use the flowers in salads. They have a little bit of a spicy flavor. But I've got a few nasturtiums. And if you come in here, I will show you where we had Armenian cucumbers here, but the frost got them, so I have replanted them, and I now have new sprouts up for Armenian cucumbers coming up. This is one you can see where the frost got him that night that we had that bad frost. So I'm going to actually probably go on and pull him out, but the others are sprouting. Another radish, And these are our red Chinese noodle beans that are just starting out, so they'll be climbing this trellis soon too. On the other side here, I have got, these are where my 2 Boston pickling cucumbers were, and same thing, they got hit by the frost, and so I have replanted them and they have already sprouted here. So this is a Boston pickling cucumber there and there, and these are my 2 red Chinese red noodle beans, so they will start climbing. Again, we've got squash and radishes and beans, zucchini, nasturtiums. My cosmos that I put in here are starting to bloom. We've got marigolds coming up through the middle. And that's about all on this bed. You can see my garlic here. Now, this garlic was planted in November. And I'm so excited because this is my first year with garlic and it's almost ready. You can see where the leaves are starting to brown and turn yellow. This isn't because frost hit it or anything bad nutrient-wise. It's simply because it's almost time for it to be pulled. And so it has almost finished doing exactly what we wanted it to do with growing. So it'll be probably within the next month we'll be ready to harvest this garlic. You can see I've got a few more radishes coming up here. These things are huge. So your radishes will get really huge and kind of blow up. They get a lot of water. You can see like this one. So we'll go on and cut these up and eat them. All right, let's check out some of my other beds. So this is my cattle panel where we planted my dry beans just a couple weeks ago. Now we have videos on the cattle panel, the raised beds when we put them in, and the other cattle panels. You can go back, I'll link them below. These beans have started coming up. You can see them right down here. And so they will hit the trellis soon and they will just climb all the way up this trellis. But these are the Mother Goddard beans, and these are the ones that we are going to use as dry beans this year for harvesting. My blueberry plant is happy as it can be here, and these will not be long before they're ready for us to eat. When you come down here, this is back, we've got a few flowers planted here. These are coxcomb, variegated coxcombs, and this is the first year that we've done those. A tomato plant, that is, we've got more squash and zucchini and cucumbers under this cattle panel. And then some purple opal basil again. This is the cattle panel that I went down and just planted a bunch of different things. I planted things that would climb. I planted the tomatoes here so they would have the cattle panel for support. I planted peppers. Here's more coxcombs, squash and peppers and tomatoes and basil, zinnias, eggplant, more peppers, more squash, more cucumbers. It just kind of repeats all the way down. On the other side, this cattle panel is where I went and did tomatoes all on one side, and then I came across on the other side and did cucumbers, squash, things like that. Here's another one that got hit by the frost, this cucumber, and so you can see where I planted a seed and it's already sprouted, so it'll take this one's place. This right here, I'm really excited about, it's the first year I've done blueberry tomatoes. So they're little cherry tomatoes that are kind of a purpley blue red color, and it looked kind of pitiful when I put it in, but it has adjusted, I think, to its new home, and hopefully that's going to be a really good plant for us this year. So all of these are looking really well. Now this is an area that we just put in this weekend. I haven't done a video on this one, but this is going to be corn, and this is our popping corn. This is glass gem popping corn. We've got just 4 rows. Here is just a small area, and as it starts sprouting, I'm probably going to put some pole beans to help support it and let it climb. And let me show you, we got another patch of corn over here. So this is our pole bean teepee, or bean teepee, and you can see where the beans are coming up at the bottom already, and it won't be long before they start climbing this. And these again are some dry beans. We have some Kajari melons and a Tamdu honeydew melon here. And then my marigolds seem to be very happy here. It won't be long before there will be budding and keeping pests away. This other cattle panel, you haven't seen this one yet, but it is tomatoes and peppers and tomatoes, peppers, and basil right now. I'm going to be putting some cucumbers on the other side, but I'm going to succession plant so that all of my cucumbers aren't coming in at one time. And then let me show you the other cattle panel we put in up here. Now this one is just kind of more of the exact same thing. I've got more tomatoes, more peppers, and more basil. I'll do the same thing on the other side as well, putting in some cucumbers and putting in probably some squash too, but that's going to be later. I'm not going to worry with putting them in yet. because like I was saying with succession planting, I don't want all of my cucumbers coming in at one time, because then I would have so many I wouldn't know what to do with. So if I stagger them like this and planting, I'll have more of a continuous harvest all throughout the season. So let's go look at the corn now. All right, now we're at our 2 plots that we kind of put in some yellow corn that we're going to be eating fresh off the cob and cutting off the cob to freeze. Now these are 2 small plots again, but there are 4 rows here and 4 rows on this side, and this is going to be yellow corn. And then we have a whole nother area that we haven't put in yet, but that's going to be like a more white shoe peg corn. Some of this we're going to be freezing, some of it for fresh eating, and then the other one I already showed you for popcorn. Now I want you to see the fruit trees that we just put in, and you can see how some of them are budding out already. So if you watched our other video of our fruit trees we were putting in and the fruit tree guilds, here is our Granny Smith apple tree, and it is already starting to bud out. It has been very happy in its new home. We got in our other cranberry this week and got that put in over here. This is one of our peach trees. It's extremely happy. I love seeing how these buds are coming out on the trees now. The other peach tree and the other cranberry is here. And then we have another cranberry and a plum tree down at the bottom. So these are just looking really, really nice. We still got to get the protectors around the trunks of the trees. So this is where we put in our watermelons. We lost one of them, and so I've already actually replanted a seed there to replace that one. The other 2 are still hanging on, but they're not really looking great, so I may end up having to replant them, even though we covered them in the frost. But we're going to keep an eye on them and see how they go over the next few weeks. And then this is that pollinator box that we put in up against this greenhouse. The 4 tall ones in the back are sunflowers, and we have some other smaller sunflowers that we just planted by seed that are coming up. We have cosmos that are blooming already. And then these little seedlings on the bottom are zinnias. So this is going to be a great box to bring in lots of pollinators into our garden. And then just yesterday, I threw a few more things in the ground over here near the greenhouse. I need to give these some water, but these are again some more watermelons and a few cucumbers and things that I threw in the ground here that I'm going to transplant. This is my stevia plant that I was worried about. Well, I'm really excited though that it's taken off. I need to make sure I get it pretty wet. But it's in this pot because this is where I want it to stay for the rest of the year. I've just been so excited that it actually took off and grew. And then these are 2 pink blueberries that are going to be moving to the orchard area out. Thanks so much for joining us here at Cram Farms today. Don't forget to give our video a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and tune in. We've got lots of recipes and more gardening tips and just lots of simple ways of how we try to live life a little more simply and more sustainable by growing our own food, teaching our kids about it, and just enjoying the life and the nature and the all the things that have been provided for us here on our homestead. So everyone have a great week. We will be talking to you again really soon.
Bye. It's good.